the order of the breaching of the levees and how it came to be that some parts of town flooded and other parts of town didn't flood. And I think that, in fact...
Chairman, I apologize. Did you say there was an order that the levees be breached?
No, I said the order in which the levees were breached.
Chronological.
But the order.
Can you define that word for me, please, baby? What does breach mean? Bombed? I was on my front porch. I have witnesses that they bombed the walls of the levee. And the debris that's in front of my door will testify to that. So what do we mean breach? We saying?
We will do a separate interrogation on the walls, the breach, and if Mama D has information on anything, we'll be happy to get that information as a part of that hearing. That's not the subject.
I also have information.
Well, we'd be happy to get that.
I have
before you leave
interviewed
today.
witnesses, and I have videotape footage.
Well, we'd be happy to get that before you leave today, and we'll hold a separate hearing on the history, the funding, and everything with the levees.
Excellent, thank you.
I have footage also, but I couldn't bring it with me. I could mail it maybe back.
Well, if you have it, we'll get it.
Thank you. I'm struck by many emotions right now. I'm struck by many emotions right now, and because you're all under oath, every one of you. You're before a hearing of Congress. This is a big deal. And when I hear that a bead, the impression is of a laser bead on your 5-year-old daughter's forehead,
granddaughter.
I mean, I just don't frankly believe it, but I'm just being honest.
You believe what you want. I was there, sir.
Well, and
we
so,
saw the guns. We experienced them.
We'll have to.
You should go home with me now.
Wait a second.
You can still see some of it,
ma'am. I did a lot of listening, but you were honest. I'm honest, and we won't get anywhere if we're both not honest. When I hear that you were on your porch and you saw that the levee was blown up. And bombed, I can't let that pass. I don't. Don't
let that pass. Come go home with me.
I don't know if that's theater or the truth.
Come go home with me.
Okay. Now this is what I want to ask you. Let's start with you then.
Mm-hmm.
Is your home right next door to where the levee broke?
At London Street Canal. I'm in the 7th Ward.
How far away was the breach from where?
17th Street Canal is a little further distance, but you have to understand New Orleans is called the Crescent City.
I don't need a long explanation. How far
Can
away?
I see? No, I can't see you. I wear glasses, and I can't afford to buy any. I heard.
Ma'am, we don't need to speak in tongues. We just need to speak in honest answers.
That is honest. I have no reason to lie to you. Who are you, Mr. Shea?
I'm serious.
What have you done for me? I'm sitting up here now. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do from tomorrow. Why would I have to sit here and lie to you, first of all? Let's get honest about that,
Mama
baby.
D, can I just ask?
I want to be on the same page with you.
Can I understand it is that you didn't see it, but you heard it? Is that fair to say?
Anybody who saw it ain't living to tell about it.
This situation being blamed on the hurricane be further investigated. This should never have happened any place, especially in America, and it certainly should never happen again. And some people are shocked to hear me say concentration camp. But if you have ever seen any footage of the Hitler concentration camps in World War II, I assure you that is what happened to us at the very lowest level, all the way up to the level of some people dying and pregnant women losing babies.
Ms. Hodges, would you be offended if I respectfully asked you not to call the Causeway area a concentration camp?
I'm going to call it what it is. If I put a dress on a pig is still a pig.
Are you familiar with the history?
Yes, sir, I am. And that is the only thing I could compare what we went through to. And everybody who was in that place with me, the lady sitting next to me was there. My mother was there. My younger brother was there. My 2 sisters. We ran into that is the point, that they broke up families and dispersed us.
That's right.
And they stood over us with guns and enforced their authority. And yes, they tortured us. And then they use various forms of torture. And yes, I know what a concentration camp is. I'm a college-educated woman, and I love the study of history.
Not a single person was marched into a gas chamber and killed.
They died from abject neglect.
No,
we
they
left
died-
body bags behind.
They died from
Pregnant women lost their babies.
That's one of the reasons why some of these people wouldn't come out those houses, because you was told to come on the street, and when people came out, people got killed.
No one stayed there, suffered through Katrina because they wanted to be blown away, or suffered through the flood because they wanted to be drowned. They suffered through it because they had no way of getting out.
Right.
And I think if it was not poor African Americans who would be most affected by this, there would have been a plan in place, there would have been equipment in place, there would have been everything needed in place.
Do you fault equally all levels?
I blame state, I blame federal. I think we got disappointed by every branch of government that exists.
Thank you very much. Ms. Thompson?
Yes, I know for a fact it was a race issue. Because you see, I live in one of the housing developments in New Orleans. And trust me, nothing happens anywhere like it happens in the project. We were told to leave, go to the interstate, go to the Superdome, go to the convention center. When we stepped outside, guns were pointed on us. I felt like we were being told to go outside in order to be killed. No one's going to tell me it wasn't a race issue. Yes, it was an issue of race, because they knew one thing. When the city had pretty much been evacuated, the people that were left there mostly was black. My 5-year-old grandbaby is sitting on the ground with her hands in the air with a beam pointed between her eyes, saying, "Mom, am I doing it right? Because I'm scared they're going to shoot me." 5 years old, my grandbaby's going to be traumatized.
Ms. Thompson, let me also ask, you noted in your testimony that your daughter ended up going to jail through this. You want to give us what did they charge her with at that?
They charged her with, curfew violation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how we got to New Orleans at 4:30 in the morning. You understand what I'm saying? We couldn't do anything then. We had 5 rooms of furniture to move, and it was 4 females.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Hodges?
I'm sure that race has everything to do with it, as race always has everything to do with the treatment of people of color in America. The fish were evacuated, and the people were left to die. The stray animals from the animal shelter, most of whom would have been euphemized, were evacuated 2 days before the storm, and the people were left to die. Buses that could have gotten out people who otherwise could not get out were left to flood, and people were left to die. The military, which has the great capability of moving entire cities, failed to move in and move out the people the way the dogs and the fish had been moved out, and people were left to die, mostly poor, mostly people of color. Race had everything to do with the ethnic cleansing and the massacre of predominantly African American people being blamed on Hurricane Katrina.
And Ms. Hodges, you fault the state and the local and the federal, all levels?
I fault the President of the United States of America, George W. Bush. I fault Kathleen Babineau Blanco, the governor of the state of Louisiana. I fault Ray C. Nagin, the mayor of the city of New Orleans, all of whom have accepted full responsibility for what has happened to us. And we're still living with the aftermath. We're still suffering post-traumatic stress syndrome. We're reliving this in nightmares, sometimes 2 a night, night after night after night. And we're still crying.
I have the tree marked in front of my door over 6 feet. That's where it's settled. I don't know what kind of answer you want, mister. That's why we have problems with y'all coming telling us what to do in Orleans. You don't even understand us when we talk.
You don't even understand the situation.
No, I'm trying to understand the situation.
No, you're not.
I think I've gotten the answer indirectly by your failing to answer the question.
And you can't sit there and do that, mister. I'm 60, and if I wasn't in America, I wouldn't let you sit there and do that. I answered you, and my answers are still the same.
Mr. Chairman, my time has run out.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jefferson, any questions?
Damn, now we going to play with people's intelligence?
I resent being told that I'm lying about people having machine guns on us.
Mr. Jefferson,
and about
your time.
thousands of
Your time.
people were held at gunpoint.
Let me just ask you, please, you've had plenty of opportunity to speak, and nobody's impugning anything. You're all under...
Offensive.
No, I don't think anybody called
Thousands
you
of
that.
people, and we left body bags behind. I'm appalled that he would suggest that my mother's lying. My mother was detained under the causeway with the same M16s, the military, the National Guard. When we asked for food and water for these old people who could not get up and fend for themselves, we told them those people had not had food and water since the day before. They took those guns and barricaded us and pushed us away.
And where did this take place and about
That
when?
took place at the Interstate 10, at the causeway. All I can see every day, I wake up in this horrible, horrible concentration camp, and every time I circulate to try to help people, all I see is the sign that say causeway, causeway. I wanted to mark that spot. That area looks like a bomb has been dropped on it. And people say they heard an explosion that sounded like a bomb.
I was there.
Ms. Thompson?
Mr. Shays, I want you to know that not only did they aim the gun at the five-year-old grandson, they aimed it at a 2-year-old grandson. The only reason why I used the 5-year-old granddaughter is because of her response. But I don't mean any insult, but when you walk a mile in my shoes, tell me what you believe then.
The military bragged on CNN, the state police bragged on CNN about how many people they had killed, they had murdered in the streets of New Orleans. It wasn't even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They were happy, they were bragging, they were smiling. They said, yeah, we killed 5 of them today.
We had to hide, Jeff. I didn't leave. We had to hide to save people.
Sure enough.
If we saw the police, I'm talking about them dogs that we used to, NOPD. Katrina didn't do this. Let's get very, very clear. Katrina didn't do this. The isms of America, the isms that we got to get rid of, including capitalism, ISM. It's almost like the X at the end of prescriptions. Means poison. If we're not going to sit here and be honest about the racism that was perpetrated,
it don't make no sense.
Then I have really, truly wasted my time coming here.
And I missed a day's work.
And I really don't want nobody to get confused. At 60, I just don't want to call you the names that we were called. We have documentation. We don't have to sit in this room. I invite all of you to please come to New Orleans. The proof is there.